Have you ever wondered if one of the most dangerous enemies of your health can develop silently, without pain, and without obvious warnings? Imagine this. You feel a bit of fatigue, sometimes heaviness after eating. Maybe you have gained a little weight in recent years. Nothing unusual, right? Many men over 50 consider this a normal part of aging. But what if behind these seemingly common sensations lies a problem that is gradually destroying one of the most important organs in your body, the liver? Fatty liver disease, especially the so-called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, is becoming one of the most common health issues among men over 50 today. And the most concerning thing is that most people don't even suspect its existence until the situation becomes serious. The liver doesn't scream for help loudly, it whispers through small, barely noticeable signals. You may have noticed that you have less energy than before. After a usual lunch, you might feel a strange heaviness on the right side of your abdomen. Sometimes bloating appears, a feeling of fatigue without an apparent reason, or even a slight loss of concentration. Many attribute this to age, stress, or poor sleep. But the truth is that these signals can be early signs that fat is starting to accumulate in the liver. The good news is that in the early stages, this problem can be stopped and even reversed naturally. But for that, it is important to know which symptoms should not be ignored and why they appear. In this video, we will analyze the early signs of fatty liver disease, explain why it develops even in people who hardly consume alcohol, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your liver, energy, and overall health in the coming years. Because sometimes a small change in lifestyle can make the difference between a slow deterioration of health and the return of vitality. When it comes to fatty liver disease, many people automatically think of alcohol. But here's what surprises most men over 50. Nowadays, millions of people face this problem even if they hardly drink alcohol. This condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it is directly related to how our body processes sugar, fat, and energy. To understand what is happening, imagine the liver as a powerful biochemical factory in your body. It processes everything you eat and drink, converting food into energy, cleaning the blood of toxins, and helping to regulate metabolism. But when the body starts to receive more sugar, processed carbohydrates, and extra calories than it really needs, the liver begins to function like a warehouse that gradually fills up. Excess glucose and fructose, especially from sugary drinks, cakes, and processed products, are converted into fat. Part of this fat is sent to other tissues in the body, but a significant portion begins to accumulate directly within the liver cells. Over time, the liver literally becomes covered with fat droplets. In the early stages, this may not cause pain because there are very few nerve endings in the liver itself. That is why the disease often develops silently. Another key factor is insulin resistance. This is a state in which the body's cells stop responding properly to insulin. As a result, blood sugar levels rise, the body produces even more insulin, and the liver receives the signal to produce and accumulate even more fat. A vicious cycle is formed: more sugar, more fat in the liver, worse metabolism. Research in recent years shows that fatty liver disease is closely related to weight gain in the abdominal area, decreased physical activity, chronic stress, and age-related metabolic changes. For this reason, men over 50 are in a higher risk group. With age, metabolism slows down, testosterone levels may decrease, and insulin sensitivity deteriorates. But the most important thing is that this situation is not a sealed fate. The liver has an amazing ability to regenerate. If certain dietary and lifestyle habits are modified in time, the accumulated fat can begin to gradually disappear. In the next part, we will discuss concrete steps that can help your liver detoxify, regain energy, and restore balance to your body. When people hear the diagnosis of fatty liver disease, many immediately think of complicated diets, strict restrictions, or expensive medications. But the truth is that liver recovery often starts with much simpler and more natural steps. And for many men over 50, it is precisely the small but consistent changes that can yield the most remarkable results. The first and most important step is to review how and when you eat. The liver is especially sensitive to excess sugar and fast carbohydrates. Sugary drinks, white bread, cookies, pastries, and many processed products cause the liver to convert excess sugar into fat. Therefore, one of the most effective ways to help the liver is to gradually replace these products with more natural and nutritious options. Start the morning with a simple yet powerful breakfast that keeps blood sugar levels stable. For example, eggs with vegetables, a bit of avocado, and whole grain bread or oatmeal with nuts and seeds. This breakfast provides the body with proteins, healthy fats, and fiber. Instead of a sharp spike in sugar, you get sustained energy, and the liver is not overloaded with extra work. It is very beneficial to add foods that support liver health to the diet. Cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, help activate the liver's natural detoxification systems. Leafy greens, such as spinach and arugula, contain antioxidants that protect liver cells from damage. Nuts, especially common walnuts, are rich in healthy fats that help reduce inflammation. Another important element is healthy fats. Many people still fear fat, but the right fats actually help the liver. Olive oil, fatty fish like salmon or sardines, flax seeds, and nuts help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce fat accumulation in the liver. Now let's talk about beverages. One of the most beneficial drinks for the liver is regular black coffee. Several important studies have shown that people who drink unsweetened coffee regularly have a lower risk of developing fatty liver disease and inflammation. Of course, this is about 1 to 2 cups a day, without sweet syrups or large amounts of sugar. But nutrition is just one part of the solution. Movement plays a huge role. And here's the good news. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Even brisk walking for 30 minutes a day can significantly improve insulin sensitivity and help the liver start burning stored fat. Think of this as a gentle signal to your body. Energy should be used again, not stored. It's also important to pay attention to breathing and stress. Chronic stress elevates cortisol hormone levels, which can contribute to fat accumulation in the abdominal area and worsen metabolism. A simple habit like taking a few minutes to breathe deeply and slowly in the morning or before bed can help reduce stress levels and maintain the overall balance of the body. Sleep is another underestimated factor. If a person regularly sleeps less than 6 hours, the body begins to regulate sugar and appetite worse. This leads to overeating and an additional burden on the liver. Therefore, try to create a simple nighttime ritual. Turn off bright screens, reduce lighting, and send the body the signal that it's time to rest. When all these small habits start to work together, more natural eating, moderate movement, good sleep, and stress reduction, the liver has the chance to recover. And it's surprising that many people begin to feel changes quite quickly. There's more energy, heaviness after eating decreases, concentration improves, and overall well-being enhances, but there's a problem. Even when people try to help their liver, they often make several common mistakes that can nullify all efforts. And in the next part, we will talk precisely about these mistakes so you don't fall into the same trap. Very often, men start taking care of their liver health with the best intentions, but they make mistakes that silently hinder recovery. And the first common mistake is believing in quick liver cleanses. You may have seen promises online of detox drinks, extreme juice diets, or 3-day cleansing programs. It sounds tempting, but the reality is much simpler. The liver is already the main detoxifying organ. It doesn't need extreme cleanses. It needs healthy and stable habits. When a person drastically limits their diet or follows very strict diets, the body perceives it as stress, and metabolism can slow down, which, on the contrary, makes it harder to reduce fat in the liver. The second mistake is trying to completely eliminate fat from the diet. Many still believe that fatty foods directly cause fatty liver disease. In reality, the main cause is often excess sugar and processed carbohydrates. When a person fears all fats and starts eating more bread, pasta, sugary yogurts, or cereals, the liver receives even more sugar to process into fat. The correct approach is not to avoid all fats, but to choose healthy sources: olive oil, nuts, fish, and seeds. The third mistake is underestimating beverages. Many men try to eat better, but continue to regularly drink sugary sodas, packaged juices, or sweetened tea and coffee. Even natural fruit juices contain a large amount of fructose, which is processed directly by the liver. For a person who already shows signs of fatty liver disease, such beverages can significantly slow down recovery. There is also another habit that is rarely talked about: a sedentary lifestyle. Some people believe that if they strive to eat well, physical activity is no longer that important. But without movement, the body uses energy less efficiently. As a result, excess calories turn back into fat, part of which is stored in the liver. And finally, an important safety point. If a person already has chronic diseases, such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, or takes medications regularly, any serious changes in diet or supplements are best discussed with a doctor. The liver is a surprisingly resilient organ, but it recovers better when the approach to health remains reasonable and gradual. So let's summarize. Fatty liver disease, especially the non-alcoholic form, is a condition that develops silently, but with age, it can seriously affect your energy, health, and quality of life. The early signs are fatigue, heaviness after meals, bloating, decreased concentration, which can easily be attributed to age, but ignoring these signals can lead to the progression of the problem. The good news is that the liver has an amazing ability to recover. The key steps are simple. A balanced diet focused on natural foods, vegetables, healthy fats, and proteins. Regular physical activity, even in the form of daily brisk walks. Stress management through breathing or short meditations, and quality sleep that allows the body to regulate sugar and metabolism. Together, these habits help the liver burn the accumulated fat, improve metabolism, and restore energy levels to what you remember in your best years. Here's a brief experiment for you. For a week, try having protein with vegetables for breakfast in the morning and avoid sugary drinks. Pay attention to your energy level, heaviness after eating, and your overall well-being. Even small changes can show you how quickly your body reacts to taking care of your liver. Now I want to hear your opinion. Have you noticed any early signs of fatty liver disease in yourself? Write in the comments what you have experienced and what habits you would like to change first. If this video has been helpful to you, like it, share it with friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming tips on natural energy recovery and health maintenance after 50. Save this video to refer back to it as a practical guide and start implementing the steps today. Your liver and your body will thank you.